Ursula von der Leyen's political allies could scupper her bid to deliver a vital coronavirus rescue fund for the European Union, it has emerged. The European People's Party have threatened to vote down the European Union's next 7-year budget unless MEPs are brought in as part of the process. In a letter to the EU Commission President, the EP insisted time and space should be offered to them to be included in the negotiations. Senior EP members wrote, in the light of discussions in the European Council and the forthcoming proposals of the European Commission, the EP group would like to convey its expectations on the next multi-annual financial framework as well as the proposal for a recovery plan. The demands were signed by German MEP Manfred Weber, the group's chairman, and Vice-Chair Siegfried Mureșan, a Romanian MEP. They added, "We therefore call on you to ensure that the European Parliament is fully involved in the decision-making process and in the adoption and the implementation of the recovery plan, and we reject any attempt to sideline the only directly elected institution of the EU. Every budget, because it implies essential political choices on how and for what we spend the money, to whom it will benefit and where the money come from, requires in every democratic system a fundamental involvement and oversight of Parliament. The Recovery Fund cannot be an exception to this basic rule of democracy and legitimacy. We will also reject any attempt to establish a plan, which results in a smaller MFF in the future." Mrs. von der Leyen, who is also a member of the EP, has privately unveiled plans for a €2 trillion war chest to help rebuild the EU's coronavirus-stricken economy. In a leaked Commission memo, officials set out plans for multiple layers of new spending in a pyramid structure. It includes the traditional MFF package, the Green Deal Fund and an emergency reserve of cash for the pandemic recovery. An internal dossier, seen by Express, said, all told, the new proposals will be able to generate at least €2,000 billion of investment and expenditure, heavily front-loaded and geared at recovery and resilience. Under the plans, the EU would incorporate a €300 billion recovery fund into the 2021–2027 budget and then borrow a further €320 billion. The Commission wants to use at least half of the funds to offer loans to member states while the remaining cash will be stored inside the budget to fund annual interest bills of around €500 million. Bureaucrats also want to front-load a number of budget components to make the majority of the funds available within at least 2 years. At least €50 billion from the Bloc's cohesion funds have been ring-fenced for that period. But before the new budget can be implemented, it must first be signed off by the EU's 27 capitals and the EU Parliament. In his letter, Mr. Weber set out a series of demands for the agreement before he can offer his consent.